Please, if you can hear me, please, there's a chat box there. Please just raise your hand or send an emoji so that we'll know that you're following. Good evening to everyone. You're welcome to this training section. I hope you learn from it. Let's stay tuned. This training section was okay. Yeah, I can see your response. You can hear me. All right, that's fine. You're welcome to the experimental geoscience workshop, and it was brought to you by the SEG Society of Exploration Geoscientists, Geophysicists of FUTA and FUPRI. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Yeah, I can see your message. Quickly, I would love to recognize the presence of the president of the SEG FUTA chapter, person of Comrade Rodiat Amusan. Please, if you are here, just you can send a waving emoji. You're welcome, ma'am. And I also like to recognize the presence of the SEG FUPRI chapter president, person of Comrade Ekokotu Prince. You're welcome, sir. All right, I'm going to move on straight. I'm not going to waste much time. I'm going to be introducing to us a distinguished speaker from the University of Bremen, Germany. She happens to be a research assistant, a geoscientist at heart, a play maker, a team player. She works as a research assistant to a professor at Ocean Discovery Program, Germany. And then she had her BSc degree from Nigeria, from the Federal University of Petroleum Resources, FUPRI. Talking of as a geology student. And then she forged ahead to the University of Bremen, where she's undergoing a master's degree in marine geosciences. All right, join me to please welcome our speaker or our trainer for this section, person of Chigbo Roots. Please let's welcome her. You can type on the chat section. You're welcome, ma. Miss Chigbo Roots, please, you can take over.
Hello, can everyone see me?
Yes.
Okay, let me get to know my audience. I can see that I have a handful. At least I have more than 15 here. So please, if you can hear me, I would love you to start dropping your connection links on the chat. So, because I may not possible for me to get to see you, but maybe later after the section, I'll get to connect with you on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and we'll get to know ourselves better. So let me quickly share my slide. But before I do that, I want to break your heart. Why did I say so? This session will not take so much time. And maybe because I've been in Germany for some time now, and one of the key things I've learned from Germany is that it's not how much of the time we have, it's how much of what we have used the time for. So if they say 100%, that means they are using almost 99% to give you that 100%. So today is introduction to what we are going to do tomorrow, because for us to be able to study experimental geoscience very well, we need the software, right? We need to download it in our systems. We need to get it in our closure, so that when we are doing when I'm practicing or when I'm showing you what to do, you'll be doing it with me. So it's more interactive. So today I'm going to introduce 2 of the softwares among 4, which I'm supposed to train you on in this particular workshop. And I'm going to introduce two of it and send you, educate you on how to get it to your system, possibly follow you up, make sure you download it to your system so that by tomorrow we can be able to practice the software. So just know that they are doable, they are not difficult. They are also built by IT personnel and geoscientists. So it's one of us that also do it. So that means after this section, I'm also looking at one or two people telling me that, oh, I want to build a software that may either increase the accessibility of what we have already. That would be interesting, okay? So I'm sharing my slide now. Okay. Hold on, please. I'm coming. Okay. Good. So can you see my slide? Hello?
No, ma, not yet.
Hello, we can hear you.
You can hear me, but can you see my slide?
No, no, not yet.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Okay, yes.
Yes.
So thank you. The person that did the introduction actually did a very good job, but just for more emphasis, I started studying marine geosciences, and it's a passionate course for me. So I'm not just studying geoscience, I'm studying the marine part of geoscience, and something I'm really interested in. So, and currently I'm working with the International Ocean Discovery Program with the Research Institute in my university called Maroon. And it has been a handful, and the experience is wonderful. Next time, on a good day, I'll be able to gist you on the experiences. So I'm also currently the Women in Geoscience and Engineering Student Coordinator. And these are things I've done, some experiences I've had. I was also very active when I was in school with NAPE, NMGS, name it. So maybe some of you may even have seen my face in Eco Hotel doing volunteer, and that is it. So currently I'm running a 2 masters. One is in marine geoscience, and the second one is in ship offshore technology unit and repair. And the second one is a scholarship with Learn Africa. So it's in Spain, and I have to shuffle Germany and Spain. So it's a handful program for me, and I think it's worth it too. So I'm also doing something with Colorado School of Mines, but it's on a pause for now. Is on data, which is why I'm passionate about talking about this particular experimental geoscience, because when someone talks to me, I tell them that I am more of a geotechnologist than a geoscientist, because most of all what I work with is more of IT than core science. So, and that is the amazing part of it. Why is it amazing in my terms? Because half of everything we do in the field is getting data. So what is the essence of me being a geoscientist when I can't use those data that I've gotten? So gone are the days when we just express our data mainly on writing. Now we have a more practical way of expressing our data, which is what I'm going to introduce you to, which is graphs, which is a more in 3D sections that we use now to make our data easy and understandable. So I'm also an alumni of IPF school, the e-campus, and also I did my bachelor's in FUPRI, and I'm proud of that. Like everything I am today is from FUPRI. So I'm very interested in anything relating to digitalization, which was my driving force into learning all this software. I have so much Geoscience software I have to go and get knowledge about, not because I want to use them, but because I'm passionate about learning them. I'm passionate about understanding how to use them. So during my undergraduate thesis, that was when I actually had this desire to start using software that is relating to Geoscience. And I can tell you that my supervisor was awesome. Like, I don't know if you know her, but I'm proud to mention her anywhere, any day. I think she's the current HOD, Dr. Asadu. She was the one that put me through going through my undergraduate thesis, and I was able to learn some softwares. Basically, I was able to use Python, Nuplot to do my undergraduate thesis, and that was a breakthrough for me. Most of the time when I put up my CV and people know I have knowledge for Python, I'm already on a high skill. So these are the professional IT skill I have below in my right, where I put both Python, R, programming. So it's helpful, and I'm getting more of it because IT never stops. So every day people are being innovative about building softwares, and the more they are bringing it out, the more people like us who want to use them, or maybe even want to bring that our own in future. So that is it about me. I think there is nothing again to say. Like I said, I'm actually working with the International Ocean Discovery Program, and the only thing we are doing is go to expenditures, get data, go to the lab, do some sample picking, do some washing, analyze those data, use software to analyze them, and then before I was able to come to Germany, I worked with an oil servicing company in Nigeria called Ariosh, and I was not doing geoscience. I was doing data control. I was doing data management. So that also gave me more opportunity to be able to know how to manage data, how to sort data, how to use data, an easier way to interact to anybody. And that was something I also picked from my experience. So let me start with a quote. So I would say that data is a precious thing and something that will last for us. A time series or a temperature series. So that's the only thing we're talking about. And this data is something that we keep on gathering. Even as we are talking right now, some data have been recorded. Before we started talking, I can hear when the Zoom was saying this session is being recorded. So as this thing is being recorded, it's going to be stored in a place. And that thing is stored in a place. That means tomorrow I can easily go to that place, pick it up, listen to it, and say, wow, this is how Ruth was talking the day she did a program or a workshop for us. So that is data, okay? So next thing is that data is understandable. That is why we scientists have to dive into it. So when you have data, it's easily seen, it's not too wordy, it's a sequence of what that is readable. So next thing is that it's trustful, especially when for us that is in a field where our field is very dynamic and very sensitive field, we actually doesn't play with data, because these data are in fact driving force of everything we do. Name it sedimentology, geodynamics, geotechnics, everything is data. Either using seismic to get data, or you're using a stratigraphic tool to get data. Everything we are doing is just to know what is happening. In terms to know what is happening is about getting data. So, and that means it's everywhere. We can get it anywhere in the field, using our digital software. And there's some things we don't need to go to the field to do. We can just sit down in our rooms and get the data and can analyze them. So because of that, I would say that I love data, right? So this particular workshop that we are starting today, I want you to open your mind into knowing that as you're sitting down here, listening to me, everything about you is data. When you went to pick up your clothes in the shopping place, probably you have paid with something and you have paid with your card, and that card is recorded in a place. So that means every day you are leaving data, and every day you are doing data. Thank you. So next thing is, what is the aim? The aim of this particular experimental geoscience is, I want to move or realign your mind or give you a reorientation about you as a geoscientist coming out from school, or already out of school, getting opportunities for things. I want to make you understand that there is no opportunity you get if you're not diverse. Meaning that if you streamline yourself to certain things, that means you have locked some doors for yourself. But one amazing thing is that I was able to learn when I was a bit exposed, is that most of everything I was doing was interlinked. And why did I say it was interlinked? If I want to solve maybe a climate issue, my professor will say, use a climate model. And I was like, why am I using a software? I'm not even an IT personnel, but nobody cares there. You have to still use those softwares. So that means you have to already open your mind into learning those things. One of my friends would tell me that all this IT shit is just stressful. But that is the reality we are all facing, and we all need to embrace it. So meaning that you start from your inner step, you have to open your mind into it. And why is this thing very interesting? It's interesting because with graphs or with means of analyzing data, you can easily educate anybody or explain anything to anybody without being too wordy, without even to a dummy can understand. When you see a graph, when somebody see a X and Y, you only know that this one is going down and this one is crossing it. So it's readable, it's understandable. So that's why professionals always use graphs to express themselves, to compare relationship, compare variables, because it's more understandable. So whatever I'm talking to you right now, I want you to open your mind into knowing that everything we are doing, for you to, as a geoscientist, you want to describe what you have seen in the field, you are doing it experimentally with a graph. Either you are plotting a regressional graph, or you are doing just a normal two-way graph, a line graph. But this is the way you are expressing, this is the way you are checking the values of what you have gotten. This is way of knowing that, okay, if this graph is trending to this extent, that means it's supposed to be this. Or if this so sequence happened in a short term, so that means maybe there is a gap. I can remember doing my undergraduate thesis when I had some funny graphs, and I submitted it to my supervisor. She was like, "Do you know what these graphs mean?" I said, "No." That means that if you have a breach here, maybe there is a hiatus, maybe there is a gap, or maybe the thickness decreases. So I have to go back and start studying it. And this was something that is easy to express with a graph. So that is why we all need to understand the usage of graph and the geoscientists, the usage of data, because your data can only be analyzed either by using a graph or by using some biostratigraphy sequence, where you don't really need to put it as a graph, maybe graphic in terms of X and Y, that's pointed graphs. You can put it as a bar chart, you can put it as, but everything you're actually doing is just trying to give a glance view of your expression of what you want to talk about when you are explaining it to someone else. So because we are moving to the next slide, okay? Hope you are following me. Thank you. What is the purpose of this graph? It helps us to provide and organize a way to display data, understand? And it's also provide an easier way to see patterns. So this is just what I'm just talking about now. So this is what this graph is giving us. And when you're seeing this graph, one amazing part of it is that graph makes you a god. Why? It gives you a future. It makes you be predictable. It makes you able to know that, oh, if this is trending this and the sequence of this cyclic is going this way, there's possibility that this kind of cycle can also repeat itself in the next 2 times. So meaning that with graphs, you can easily visualize your future. You can know where you are heading to. Powerful. Then the next one is, there's a different way to express graphs. And for me, I would say you can even express the data from a table, which is conventional, and unconventional, mainly by using histograph, by using your scatter plot, by using your dot lines, by using your dot plot. But I want to make you focus on something. Most of our data that we generate as geoscientists, is little of them we express with line graph. Most of them are scattered dots. So that is why I'm going to introduce you to a software called NuPlot, which is also what I used in my undergraduate, and I was able to use it to, though it's a little bit of a coding, but you can be able to express and tell the graph what you want the graph to do, the software, I mean to say, what you want it to do for you. So most of the data we get from our projects, from our fields, are mainly expressed in a scattered graph, in a scattered plot. So when you are looking at data, when you're looking at graphs, I want you to open your mind more. Not that the line graphs are not important to you, but I want you to look at open your mind more on how to use this, how to plot a scattered, how to do a scattered plot, because our variables are much. Before you know it, you are getting depth from this so well, we are getting depth from so well, we are getting so we have so many things to put on, and those things we want to put on, so far it is more than 2. It is not admittable with a line graph, so we have to do a scattered plot, and that is where regression start coming to you. I remember one of my my classmates in school when we do geostatistics, and those time it wasn't clear to us, it was just a, for me in class, it was just a joke. It was just something I just come to class and maybe look at, but I was not absorbing it. But when I left school, I was not able to understand the impact of those knowledge they were giving us then. Understanding the Fourier series, understanding the regressional graph. As a geoscientist in this 21st century, you don't have choice. You just have to open your mind to it, because eventually, whatever you're going to express, either as a researcher or someone that wants to go into the industry or someone that wants to go into the academic set, no paper you will see now that doesn't have a table, no paper that you will see now that doesn't have a graph explaining what is happening in that in the field. So meaning that you cannot run away from this particular workshop. It's you, and this workshop is something that all of us are going to benefit from. So that means we are looking at scattered graph mainly, and that is why we are going to mainly look at NuPlot, how to use NuPlot. NuPlot will help you be able to solve this plot scattered graph very well, do a regressional sequence, be able to check some things that normally line plot will not do for you. So I don't know if I'm going too fast. I'm a bit of a hyper person, so if I'm going too fast, someone can just tell me, please slow down, because I want you to only understand what I'm saying. I just don't want to talk. I want you to get all the benefits from this workshop. So what are the 4 types of graph? We have direct relationship graph. That is just the linear graph everyone knows. We also have the inverse of the linear graph, which is the direct relationship graph. Then we have the node chain, the one that is just, all these are line graphs, okay? So like I said, I'm telling you about this, but that is not where our focus is. Our focus is where we are talking about the scattered plots. So then we have the cyclic event graphs, and yeah, all this in my first introduction is just trying to open your mind to what you can use your data to do and what you can actually achieve with your data. But like I said, most of the data we have from the field are complex data. They're data that is always more than one variable. So because they are more than one variable and variables, we can't basically most of the time use our line graph to do them. So we need to use a software that can adapt 1 or 2, 3, or 4 variables and show the relationship of all of them in a one view. Sorry. So NuPlot is a software that mostly geoscientists use. And what can this software actually do for you? It can help you plot a 3D plot. It can also help you plot function plots in polar graph and histograph. So these are the things that this new plot can do for you. And the things that new plots cannot mainly do for you is maybe a manual artist trace. So it cannot give you that. But every other aspect of graph that you may want to look at, I think you can use new plots perfectly to do it. So going further, so these are like compound graphs. All these graphs are graphs that new plot is going to give you perfectly. So just imagine trying to use your normal line graph to achieve these things, getting red, both your red and everything color. It's not, I'm not saying it's not achievable, it's achievable, but why new plot is kind of more, let me just say, I'm marketing new plots for you people. So why I'm marketing new plots is because new plot is a bit of a coding, meaning that I'm going to tell the software what I want. So I'm going to put a function, I'm going to put a code on when using this software, and it will give me exactly what I code for, not what is being built for. So that is just the difference between new plots and every other plotting graph and plotting software that you may see outside and is usable for geoscientists. Good. So these are some operators that new plot do. Like I said, today is just basically what we are doing today is just to introduce you, open your mind to this, then follow you through how to download these things on your system so that by tomorrow, if I'm telling you to click A, you'll be able to click it. If I'm telling you to click B, you'll be able to click it. So that is it. So I may not take too much of your time. These are the operators of uplot. And one amazing thing is that you can use it in Linux, you can use it in Unix, you can use it in Windows. So any operating software, operating system that you have, you can actually have uplot installed in it. So is flexible. So thank you for this first introduction. The next thing I'm going to talk about is SEDlog. But before I talk about SEDlog, I want to hear you talk to me, maybe what you don't really get from the introduction of uplot, or what you think I didn't talk well, or what you need more emphasis on, or what you need a comment on. Because I may not really expect you to get the whole view of this until we start practicing it. That is when you can be able to get the whole view of what I just introduced you to. Then secondly, you know why your education is important is that every geoscience software you're using is like you are building up a creative mind what you have. That means you must already have the background knowledge of the theories. You must already understand what is lithology. I want to talk about SEDlog, where we are plotting about lithologies and the rest. So you must already understand Boma sequence. You must already understand how layers are being built, the positions and the rest, before you start talking about how to now put it. Because if you don't understand them, you won't even know when you are making mistakes. So your theories are very, very important. Your backgrounds are very, very important. How much of geology you know helps you when you are using all these softwares, so that you know when you're actually on the right track or not. Like I said during my undergraduate thesis, an example I made, I said that was the time I brought a graph to my supervisor and I didn't even know what the graph was telling me. So it was hard, and now use the geology knowledge she has, and we're like, okay, what is happening here means that there's a gap in this place, and what happens when there is a gap, that means maybe the deposition was not successful, or maybe there was a stop because of, you know, the geologic terms. Now everybody knows it. So that is it. Open for that now. So
hello, can you hear me? Good evening.
Yes, good evening. I can hear you.
Yeah, my name is Austin Tega Atori. I'm a student of Federal University of Petroleum Resources, EFRUM. I really want to appreciate you for opening our minds to this. So to start with, after appreciating you, when you say nucleus, can you just give us new, like nucleus, Nucleus? Is that the name of the software? I can't hear you.
Hello.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Hello.
Hello, I'm here.
Hello, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. I want to
Yes,
get the name of the software so that we can flow together. Apologies, maybe I started a little bit late.
Can you see the slide now? The one I'm showing
Yes.
off now. You see the
Yes.
new plus, the NUGNUPLOT.
Yeah, new
Yes.
plots. Okay,
Yes.
G new plots. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Hello.
I'm Arela Joshua. I have a question, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, move back to the last slide. You know, the GNU plus was it written in the C programming language, or you have to have a knowledge of C programming language before you can use it?
Yeah, is written in, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So it's written in C programming language, but you don't necessarily need to get the foundation in the language before you can use it. Though you need to know the sequence, because when writing a code, there is a formula for it. It means when you see a variable that's supposed to follow this trick. When you see a number that's supposed to follow this. I don't know if you're getting my point. So it's the same system that they use, but that doesn't mean you need to get C programming language, period to that. When I use this system, I don't even have any programming language idea. The only thing I did was go to YouTube and studied how to use the software. Just after my supervisor said, okay, you can use this software to plot this graph. I said, okay, I just have to go and start studying, doing a self-study. So up to now, I'm not a C+ user, I'm a Python user, but I can use it. So that means it's flexible.
All right, please let's stay tuned. She'll be back anytime soon. Please, there's a link I dropped on the chat box. Please do well to click on the link to join the WhatsApp group chat to enhance us to dispense certificates immediately after the workshop. I'll be sending the link again. Please do well to join the WhatsApp group chat. Please let's stay tuned. Be back anytime soon. All right. All right. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello, sorry, I think my network is something shitty. Hello.
Yeah, we are with you.
Is she wearing a yellow sari or a pink sari? And what about her hair?
Hello, Ada.
Down or did she tie it up? I didn't get to see whether she wants you.
Hello.
So many times, but our brains are
All right,
just
over to you, ma'am.
working,
Can hear you.
right? What?
Please unmute your mic.
If you're so
Miss Ruth, please unmute your mic.
Yes, I can. I thought Dr. Assad wanted to talk, so that's why I have to mute.
All right.
So can I go ahead?
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you. And I was answering a question before I got logged out. I don't know if the person is clear enough now. For
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
how about the software? Okay. Yes, Joshua, are you okay now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
All right, thank you too. I think someone else have a question. To God's power, please. Can you make it snappy? Thank you. Yeah, God's power, we're waiting for you.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you, Madam Minister. I just wanted to ask.
Okay.
You said you're a Python user, so I know you must be familiar with Matplotlib and then probably SQL. So I just wanted to know what is the GNU plus advantage over that of Python, Matplotlib, and SQL, and even Pandas, innate visualization tools. What is the advantage?
Yeah, the thing is that what you can actually achieve with new plots, you can also achieve it with Python. Because after I finished my undergraduate thesis, I also did the plot. I used the new plot to do. I used Python to do it. But before you learn Python, I'm telling you, learn Python within 6 months or 1 year before you can plot such kind of graph on Python, depending on how fast you are when it comes to learning softwares. But new plots is something you can even learn if you are open to it. You can learn in a day or 2 days. I don't know if you're getting it. So they built it in a way, the coding is in a way that is very readable, and just something you can just copy again from what you have done before, do some changes and continue. You get it? So that is, for me, anybody can understand the use of Python, use of new plots, I mean to say. Some people already have phobias when it comes to programming. So anytime that you're telling them about learning programming, they're running away. But this software is something anybody can learn, whether you are very enthusiastic about programming, going into the core program to understand how to use those software, or you are not. So that is why, for me, I would say is for everyone. Using new plots is for everyone, but going into Python may not be for everyone. So that is one key advantage of it. Then secondly, the second advantage of this is just like Python is a general thing, you can use it for different things, but this is strictly made for this kind of geoscience is a geoscience software, and this is basically very, very, very good when it comes to correlations, because you kind of be able to get some, how will I put it, like call it an interpretation on how to understand the because remember, you are the one telling the software what to do. You are the one coding what the software will do for you. So you can easily express your knowledge on it, express your creativity on it. Unlike Python, you can also do it on Python anyways. Python is harmful though. But for me, I think the new plot is something handy. Someone can easily pick up and learn than Python. Yes. Are you clear? Hello? God's power, can you hear me?
I'm clear now, yes, I'm clear.
Okay, thank you.
All right, can I just ask one more question?
Please, Dr. Asadu's hand is up. Please,
Okay.
You can ask question after she's done. Yes, thank you.
Hello?
Yes, Ma.
Yeah. Ada, good evening.
Good evening, Ma.
Good to see you.
Same here, same here. She's my supervisor that I was just telling you guys about. So she actually made me understand this software, and I'm giving it back to the community by teaching it. So thank you, Ma.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
So when they told me about the training, I felt so good that at least we are doing something.
Yes,
Is a good a fit for you to help us propagate the sermon, because it's not just to help to read and to pass exam. At least a graduate of geology should be able to build a geological model. Let us see what you have. Maybe during your projects, show us what you have stored. We have stored in your brain, because there is no, let me say, analysis. The analysis is what brings out what you have. Like she just told you, you use your data, you play around with your data, and playing around with your data is not wasting your time. Use all the geology that you know to interpret in graph, put it as a model, and you can see how much geology that you know. Like the new plot that she's talking about. New plot is a simple software, just like Excel. And you can use Excel to do many things as well. But new plot can, like she said, you can see many variables in a single plot. You can see many variables. You can compare many variables in a single plot. So new plot is very easy to understand, and new plot is free. That is free online new plot. Is a very good software as undergraduate, even postgraduate. In short, I use new plot even in my PhD data analysis. So there is no geology these days, this 21st century, without a model. So you'll be able to build geological model from the idea that you have, from the data that you have. Even when you have gone to the field, you should be able to display what you have gotten from the field in the form of a geological model that explains it better than maybe 100 pages of write-up. So I am very grateful, and I hope that you will take the training seriously and learn. At least you have seen her. How many years? Maybe like 3 years ago that she graduated. She was one of you, and she's doing well. And I'm very grateful. She's helping us. Right? Thank you, Ada. I'm grateful.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. You drilled me so much. That's why I'm doing well. Thank you, Ma. So I'll also tell you that my project won the best project in the department because of one single thing. Because I did an IT/a geology project. So my project topic was graphic correlation. The only thing I was explaining to supervisor was graphs and graphs and graphs. And my project is one of the things that have moved me to where I am today. So when I explain my project to people, and they're like, wow, so we're able to do this. So this particular thing we are learning is not just something you should just take common. It's something you should take seriously. So I want to explain about SEDLog, just with no slides. Then I will now send the link where you can download your SEDLog and also download your plot, because tomorrow that is what we are going to do. Like I said, all these softwares is only built with your geology in you. So you can only explain, put assuming you want to put a SEDLog, which means you are doing a lithology. You are building a lithology of maybe what you have seen in the field after you have gone to your field work. Right now, most of you may be in your final year and you have your final year project, which may require you to go to the field, get to analyze some rock samples, get to analyze some depositional environment and everything. And all these things you are doing, you're actually going to see some sequences or get some samples or even analyze a core sample. So after you finish analyzing this core sample, you want to make it visual. You want to make it virtual to someone to really understand. So that is why you're doing a lithology. Conventionally, we do it with our maps, we do it with our hand, we draw the lithology, put some key legends on it. But now you can also do it with your system, which is what SEDLog is just doing for you. So SEDLog just help you to do it. You can do it in a two-way. You can do it manually by having your book beside you and putting all those things you have seen in the field and creating their legend. Secondly, you can also do it in a smarter way. For me, go to get those data installed in your Excel sheet, make it a CVS file and plot it. Within 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you are done. Let me just you. During my undergraduate, I was making money with SEDLog. People from institutes, people from different universities, they are contacting me to do SEDLog for them. And I will tell you, I do it less than 10 minutes and I'll collect my 15K, shield 50K. So people were marketing me and I was making money with SEDLog. So meaning that what you know and another person doesn't know is already a business for you. So that is it. And I got to learn SEDLog in a conference where I went to. I was just with somebody and the person said SEDLog. And I'm a very curious person. Anytime I hear something very new to me, I want to explore it. I want to know about it. I went back home and I typed on my YouTube and I saw SEDLog. That was how I get exposed to that. That's gone for a training. All the softwares I've been able to build, they are born out of my curiosity to learn something new. That's how I get to know about them and I get to train myself about them. So the next, after tomorrow, we are going to do the next, which is ArcGIS. ArcGIS is just a whole lot of things. I cannot even finish the ArcGIS, but I will at least do an introductory part of it so you understand how to use some basic tools in it, and also maybe do a bit of a software usage. So just like I was saying, going back where I just stopped before I diverted to what we'll do tomorrow and next, is that we are going to get exposed to the SEDLog, meaning that tomorrow I'll be needing how much of geology that you know. Because when we are describing the fishes, when we are trying to do the when we are putting the structure, maybe the boundaries, I need your technicality of geology for you to tell me, oh, this is how it's going to be, this is how it's supposed to look like, this is what is supposed to be first before the other one comes in. So that is why my assignment to you after this particular program webinar we did today is that you go back home and open back again how to understand or describe a lithology when you see it. What are the things you will see? What are the structures you will see? Because all those structures, all those beddings, all those planar bed, cross beddings, herringbone structures, ripple marks, they are going to come in place tomorrow. So you're going to know that this is where you're going to put them. This is how it's to look like. So if it's possible for you to extend your course to reading about Bowman sequence, I want to also know, I'll be mentioning sedimentary things, but that doesn't mean that SEDLog is only for sedimentary rocks, okay? If you also go to a non-sedimentary environment and you have done many basalt, many granite, many on basement rocks, you can also plot them as lithology, depending on what you want to do. I'm actually writing a report now on a field report, and I'm also using a cell log to interpret my lithology. So meaning that you don't necessarily need to, it mustn't be sedimentary, okay? So you not start thinking that maybe this is just sedimentary software. No, though sedimentologists use it more, but that doesn't mean you cannot use it for other methodology. Then that is it. I think I should send the link now to the charts. Please hold on a bit. So I'm sending the links to the chart now. So for you to get a new plot, I want to make you understand that it only operates on when it's in a system that has Java already. So meaning you have to download Java on your system. Let's be sitting there first before you now put in, sorry, for you to get your sed log, it operates on a Java system. So you have to put a Java on your laptop already before you can now download your sed log, okay? So I'm sending the link and will not possibly be able to follow you through to download it today. But what we'll do first thing tomorrow is if you have been able to download it, which I know most of you can easily download it, normal installation pattern, click the download, ask you some question, yes, and install. There is no question there that is a no, just install it. But if you're not able to now get it installed and come, just know that we are here for you. So when you come, people that have been able to install it will help you, and people that also wasn't able to install it, we can also. I will also advise the president, Prince, if it's possible to create just a group for this particular workshop where we can actually interact, or maybe someone is having a quick issue and the person needs to do something, and we can just send a mail or I can send a message to the person or help the person out even before we start the program. Because if tomorrow we need a whole lot of time tomorrow, because especially for the new plots, most of us doesn't even know how to, what is variables or how to follow the sequence of a code. So I will have to start from there, understand? So we need to buy time from other things out. So that is it. Thank you. I hope I'm not talking too fast. Tell me if I'm talking too fast. I'll slow down. So this one is for the Java. I just sent it in now, then and then. Okay. Okay, if there's a group chat, you can add me there. I just saw a message now that they have already created a group chat. So please, Bite, add me, okay? Thank you. So I'm done. I'll stop talking and allow you to talk. Thank you for having me.
All right, go over to the house. Please, if you have any question for her, please, you can signify raising up your hands quickly so that we can round up with this session.
So I'm actually open for any kind of question before we round up, because tomorrow I may not have time to answer some question you really want to ask me, because the only question I'll be answering you tomorrow is a question relating to what we are doing. So today, if you have questions to ask me question. Like I said, I'm doing marine geoscience. So if you want to know something about marine geosciences or geology, I actually study my geology very well too. Fupri is super. So you can also ask me. And I don't think there is any other thing. Okay. Yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, I can hear you.
Yes, I have just one more question about this
Okay.
programming language stuff, because I'm
Okay.
also a Python programmer, and I'm practicing very well and apt to use it in the geoscience world.
Good.
So, and the reason why I'm practicing is because far back we've been told them that they say the softwares we use, they have limitations. That if you're a programmer, you'll be able to flex yourself, then you can be able to, all those limits, you won't be having those kind of limits when you are a programmer. So that's why I'm training all these whiteboards. Like you said now, this set log or this GNU stuff, I keep asking this question to myself. So maybe I should just ask you, do they have some limitations whereby maybe we could now try to compare them with using Python or a programming language instead?
Okay, for me to answer that, all these softwares we are built with these programs you are saying, just like the Setlog operates in a Java background, the new plot operates in a C+ background. So meaning you can't just compare them with, that's like the source and the source and, how would I put it? Just like, I don't know how to put it, but the Python, the C++, the Java, they are the source of what people used. You as a geoscientist and me as a geoscientist, you can also decide and say, this new plot has small issue. And since we already know how to use Python very well, let's modernize a software that can do more than what this new plot is doing. And then we decide to build our own software and start marketing it, and people start using it. That is it. So we can't just compare them with the main source of what they are using to build them. Actually, some geoscience projects, some geoscience software and even work hand in hand with all these operating systems, all these coding languages too. Like last week I was using Kingdom. I don't know if anybody know Kingdom, just like Petrel we use in Nigeria for seismic interpretation and the rest. And at a point, I have to combine it with my Python for me to get the result I was looking for. So it's never a standalone. But what, like I said, what this particular thing is going to do for everyone is that we scientists, especially we from Nigeria, we don't have this coding background. So it's difficult for us to adapt. It's difficult for us to really enter it very well. In case somebody is having phobia, about going into core programming, you don't need that. For me, that everybody is doing doesn't mean you need to do it. Just look for the place your strength is. If your strength is to be a researcher, just like what Dr. Sado said, be there and learn how to use some geoscience software, and you'll be okay. At least as a geoscientist, you're supposed to be able to build a model. It's for me, now it's a common thing. You can't be thinking about doing an international program in geosciences and in your CV, you're not putting a model. If you know how to build a model, you have gotten 95% attention to your CV or to anything you are doing, because they see you as somebody that can easily adapt to their system. Because here, people reading even agriculture, they are building models. That you'll be asking yourself in Nigeria, what do I need it for? When my younger sister that is doing nursing, I was like, go and learn Python. Like, what do I need it for? I said, hello, you need it everywhere now. So the softwares are just so important that we just really have to learn them. So that is it. Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Thank you. Yes, I can hear you.
Austin from Fupri.
Okay.
Again. Yeah. For me to use the new plot, do I need to install the C program?
Nine.
Okay. Yes. So we'll just install it.
Yes.
By tomorrow. Okay.
It's only the Setlog that you need a Java in your system before you can download.
Okay. Just to add to what you've done, what you said, I really appreciate this modeling. For me, I'm using what they call the GMS, groundwater modeling system, for my my project, and it's really helping. And I think this program is just like an eye opener for me, and then I really appreciate you. I'll be your student from henceforth. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you too. Thank you. Any other question?
Any other question for her, please?
You have opportunity to ask me questions today. Tomorrow, you'll be hearing some strange things that you may not you may get exhausted with. I remember when NAPE organized Python for Geoscience. NAPE has done so well for Nigerian geoscientists. I don't know if you people appreciate how much of what this association has been doing for us. Me, I have my wings, I can fly just because I was a member of NAPE. Because I got really exposed to things I was supposed to be exposed to. What my school could not give to me, I was able to get opportunity to participate in workshops and the rest. So those times when we are doing Python in Geoscience for Geosciences that was organized by NAPE, it was like as if it was something straight to us, because we are already used to cramming our geologies and pouring. We are just not used to the statistic analysis. But now, just tell yourself you have to be used to it. You don't have choice. I used to tell my people that I talk to, there are some things you just have to just do. Not because you feel right or your body wants to do it. Your comfort zone will never want you to do anything new, understand? But you just have to do it, have to learn it, have to stretch yourself for you to be able to grow. Just know that you are not a geoscientist for Nigeria only. You're a geoscientist to adapt in anywhere you are. You're a geoscientist of the world. So for you to be that geoscientist that can be anywhere and operate anywhere, you also have to get the skill that can operate anywhere. So that's just the gist. Thank you. If there is no other question, please, I'm a bit ahead of you in time. Okay, someone have a question? Okay, let me hold on.
Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to learn from your pool of knowledge. We are very grateful. My name is Rocky Makondi.
Your name is what? Thank you.
Ms. Rocky Makondi.
Okay.
I'm a 400 level geology student of food. So I'm very grateful. So I just want to ask that, is there any kind of, can you just give us an insight, a kind of where we can get additional knowledge, or just to get ourselves ready for tomorrow class, so that we can get us for the newbie like me, so that we can get ourselves familiar with ArcGIS. Maybe there is a website we can consult, so that we can get prepared ahead of the class. Thank you so much.
Okay, for me, I'm a fan of YouTube. I usually use YouTube for many things I do. So most of the time when I'm a newbie on a team, I type ArcGIS for dummies or new plots for dummies. I add dummies to it and it gives me the background or the foundation of whatever information I want to get. So you can go and start exploring your YouTube. I will also want tomorrow to have some people that I want to operate with people that they are passionate for knowledge. So when I'm telling you this, you're not just looking at me. You're like, okay, I've actually come across this. I was able to do some things on my own. Like I said, if I should open my CV for you again, all this software I have, I use even MATLAB, I use Octave, I use R, I use Python. All this software that I can use was learned by me. Nobody taught me. I've never paid any dime. I even bought one from Coursera and I didn't even finish it. All of them was totally used by YouTube. I use YouTube to learn. The only thing I always advise people is that before you start learning in YouTube, do two things. One, go through the different lecturers. Just be looking at what they are doing. Don't go and follow who don't know road though. Very important. Because so many people are there and sometimes you have so many information, so many things, you get confused. You don't even know what to do or how to do it. So strategize yourself very well. Me personally, before I go to YouTube to start diving information, what I do is that I do a kind of a scan through of all the people that is doing a video on that particular subject I'm looking at for. Then I will look at the best and I will also check reviews. The reason why I'm doing that is because I need to follow who know roads. Let me know that I'm being misled or get complicated. There are some people, even just the way they explain things, you're already confused. And when you are confused, you don't have the desire to continue it again. So I will advise you there. Let me know if I can pronounce the name. I can be right. I'm trying to pronounce it very well. So just go to YouTube and explore new plots. Now you have known what new plot is. Like I said, one amazing part of it is, as a geoscientist, we deal with complex data. We deal with data that is more than one variables. That is why we are using new plots, because new plots gives us an opportunity to express what you actually want to do. You use your hand and tell you new plot that you want your graph to look this way. You want your graph to be more than two variables. It will do it for you. So that is why we are using new plots. And because it's something programmable and doesn't necessarily need you to come and start getting all the full knowledge of program from the beginning. It's adaptive, you get. So you can start looking at videos on new plots already, or even a software. Since we have a group now, I can send them, there's a PDF file I have that explains a bit of how to use Zlog. I can send it to the group chat if I'm being added right away. Thank you. I can see another hand. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Can I go on?
Yes, go on. Yeah.
The last question is that during the period you are learning all these skills, what can you tell us that happens to be your driving force? You know, at times you might be depressed, busy with some activities. What's that driving force? Number one, and after learning those skills, where are you getting data to use for practicing the software that you've learned? Thank you.
Okay. First of all, I will tell you that my name is Prosperity, meaning that I don't believe I don't have money. I believe my passion will give me money. That is the way I operate. That is the system I operate. That is where that's the being I am. I don't use finances as an issue or as something that hinders me to do anything. So I'm permitted to dream anything I want to dream. I can dream today that I'm meeting Queen Elizabeth tomorrow, even without having a dime in my bag. And I'll even start telling to people that tomorrow I'm going to meet Queen Elizabeth. That is how I've been. That is my person. So that mindset, that positive mindset is one thing that have helped me through life. If you have known me as a person or you are close to me, I'm also someone that is from a very low background. So anything I am today to where I am today is one thing, my mindset. Then that mindset makes me, I push up my passion. There's something my former HOD used to say. He said, Ruth comes to you with a solution. She always said that statement. So if I'm coming to you, I'll tell you, sir, please, I want to learn Python. And I don't just want it. I started learning it already. But I am restricted with data. And I am not just restricted with data. I already have some money to buy the data, but my money is not complete. Can you borrow me the money you want to give me in the future? I use that statement mostly. And when somebody sees that, sometimes I'll even do a demo of what I'm doing on Python or anything I'm doing at that moment. And I'll send it to people I know. I say, this is what I'm doing. I'm excited about it. But I'm restricted because of data. And I already have this amount of data, but I need more. So when they look at it and say, oh, this guy is active, people want to work with people that they don't want to waste their energy on. So another thing you need to do is, if you're active enough, you will always see someone that will support you. But when you are telling someone that you have not even started learning the course, you have not even do any effort. So you want me to come and start dragging you. So that is another thing that also helps me. I'm a very proactive person. So it cuts across everything I'm doing. My driving force is, I want to be a consultant. I have this dream as at my 200 level in university. So even when I study in school, I tell my friends, I don't study to make a first class. I study because I want to employ you as a first class to come and work for me. So the way I'm going to study, the way I'm going to do things is not the same way you're going to do it. So I don't cram. I don't do my practice. I have to read it. I have to understand it. I have to know it. That is the only means for me to get what I want, because I need to know it enough to be able to convince a company like big as ExxonMobil to come and consult me. So that means that the level of education I need to get, the level of knowledge I need to get about the subject is something that is not just what we are doing in classroom. So even when I was in class, I wasn't a class person. I was more of someone that my mindset was beyond where I was sitting down then. So if you follow my story, you're going to know that I'm someone that one thing that has helped me is knowing what I want and who I am and sticking to that. No matter the background I was from, which is so pitiable, I was able to stick to that fact that this is what I desire and this is the passion I want to follow, and I follow it. So most of the things I've gotten is just my enthusiasm that have shown, the interest I've shown. I've only paid for one conference when I was in school, and that was my 100 level. I entered 100 level 2 weeks to school. I heard about the conference. I went to go and meet a HOD that I've never seen before. I said, sir, I heard that you people are going to conference and I want to join. See, they are finished paying early morning, early bed. And now it's expensive, it's 15,000. Can you pay 15,000 within 2 days and join us and go for the conference? I said yes. As at the time I said yes, I did not have 100 naira with me. That is my money. So I must say, someone that I advocate for hard work. I work hard, like I prefer working with my hand. I don't like begging. So I do this cleaning for people when I was in school. So I have to go around. Throughout that week, I was looking for people, begging people to let me wash your clothes. My friends, I would say, please, Felix, now, are you sure you don't want me to cut your finger? I want to go for this conference. So I was able to gather 3,500 at the end of the day. I went back to meet him. I said, this is the money I've gathered. Is it possible that I go for this conference and owe them next time? The man was just looking at me like, they said, okay, let's know if there is somebody that can sponsor a student. That was how I submitted my 3,500 naira. And I went to conference. And in that conference, I went to see people that was working there. Next thing I did was to go and meet them. Hey, how is work? Everybody was just looking at me as tiny as I was then. And I was like, sir, the work is fine. I said, sir, my name is Ruth. What is your name? That's how I used to ask people. I'm a curious person. The man said, okay, my name is Mr. Mike. I said, Mr. Mike, can I help you with your work? When we finish the conference, I'm not doing anything in the place I am. I will just sit there and be sleeping. Mr. Mike said, oh, you're not supposed to work with us now. I said, let me just work with you free of charge. Don't pay me money. So Mr. Mike said there was no work. But later he now saw me, he said that he's having difficulty, that somebody was typing something and they have issue. I said, give it to me, let me help. It was an Excel sheet and I helped them to sort it out. From there, I got a free slot to volunteer as much. Anytime there is volunteer in Napier, I'm very sure that somebody is going to call me to come and join them. You get it? What helped me was my proactiveness. What helped me was my self-service. What helped me was believing that I can do it, believing that there is possibility. Because when you start seeing things that are not supposed to be challenged as a challenge, that's another issue. Data as a student not supposed to be a challenge to you. As far as I'm concerned, there is always a means for you to get data. But the thing is that you are so crowded, instead of thinking about the solution, to think about the problem. The problem you're only thinking about is I don't have data. Not thinking about how can I get data. When you switch your mind to thinking about solution to anything, you start finding solution to anything. Like I said, my HOD calls me with the solution. Anytime I come to meet her, Emma, we don't have class today. I will always bring a solution along with me as I'm coming to meet someone, because I don't want to be a liability to you. I hope I've cleared myself enough. I think my mouth is even paining me. So, any other question?
All right. Any other question for Miss Ruth from the house? All right, so I think we can call it a day. On behalf of the ESCOs, SCG ESCOs from FUPRI and FUTA, I would love to say a big thank you to Miss Ruth Chigbo for having us here and for training us on this workshop. We appreciate you and would love to hear from you more tomorrow.
Yes,
next.
Tomorrow. I think I'm sending my energy in case you're feeling weak, or headache is about to do you tomorrow, or you tell me that you have not eaten, or Sapa is coming to knock on your door. I remove it in Jesus' name now.
Sapa is
I'm sending my energy to you guys, and my energy is, in fact, if you catch my energy, we're going to work to even past the time you're supposed to work tomorrow. So just make sure you are ready to work. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the honor for this volunteerism, and I hope I will be able to connect with you all. Please hold on. Let me just quickly send my LinkedIn. Listen to anybody, or just type Ruth Chibo. You can just add me on LinkedIn or any other place. Just know that I'm open to always serve you. Thank you so much. Because everything I have today is from someone. So I'm a community project. So I need to give back to the community. Thank you so much.
All right. This a
I'm
round
sorry,
of
I
applause
want
for
to
her.
ask
Okay.
I just wanted to ask that we have tomorrow.
David, do you hear what she said?
I did
I
not
think it's
hear
next
that.
tomorrow.
Yeah, it's network.
Said,
Please come
can you hear
again.
me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mrs. Ruth. Miss
No,
Ruth.
I'm not
My
Mrs.
name,
I'm Miss. Thank you.
Miss Ruth. All right. I just wanted to ask that do we have class? Do we have this session tomorrow or 27th?
Tomorrow and next tomorrow.
You know, on the flyer it says today 27 and 28.
Okay, anything in the flyer, that means that is what it is. So you can talk to me on the group tomorrow if you miss me so much and you want to talk to me urgently. Tomorrow, then 27 we hit it again.
All right. Thank you very much. We really appreciate your thoughts.
Wow, thank you. My name is Austin. I like your energy, Madam Rose. You need
Thank
to
you,
talk about this
Olga
energy.
Austin.
All
I'm
right.
not for Austin. All right. Thank you. I appreciate
Bye.
the class.
Cheers.
Okay.
Good night.
So